back, everybody. January 18th, 2023, and we are seeing the action from our sun and the effects on the Earth as we speak right now. About 14 hours ago, we had a 6.0 in Indonesia. If we jump in a little closer, just 6 hours later, we had a 7.0. This was downgraded from a 7.2. If we jump over to Volcano Discovery, they still have it labeled as a 7.1. As you can see, this was 40 miles in depth. If we go to the one 6 hours prior, that was 95 miles in depth. Now, a rule of thumb is that when you see large, deep earthquakes, you're often going to see larger, more shallow earthquakes. And that's exactly what's happening in Indonesia over the last 14 hours. Now, something to take note about this earthquake is that we've been talking about looking out for larger earthquakes based on the fact that we've been seeing a lot of solar activity. Now, if you've been watching over the last couple days, we've been following the sun. And as we said, there was a quiet period, but we knew that would not last. In just the past few hours, the sun has launched off 2 more M-class flares, a little bit less powerful than the 3 we saw the day before yesterday, but nonetheless, these are coming from the exact area of the sun that we warned to watch. 3 days ago, these sunspots were over in this direction, and they were very, very active. In fact, they were the 2 groups, this group right here, and then the one south to it, that again were over in this direction at that time, were the ones that launched off those 2 last large M-class solar flares we saw 2 days ago, and now they're moving towards Earth facing, which is where the Earth is right now, along the equator of the sun. Again, when you get action from the sun, whether it's above the equator or below, it's going to affect Earth. Now, these 2 new M-class solar flares came both from this area right here. I'm going to show you those both right now on this screen right here. You're going to look in this general area here where we just pointed out the 2 separate sunspot areas. You're going to see 2 flashes. You're going to see a line shoot down. That's just what the camera picks up as these CMEs are released. I went ahead and slowed this down, but you're going to see the first flash come through and a line's going to shoot down. That was the bigger of the 2. That was right there. And then in just a moment, you're going to see a second flash, which is right about there. That was that second M-class solar flare. Again, these were in pretty much rapid succession, just like the previous 3, just not as strong. But the point of the matter here is that we now have a group of sunspots that are clearly active, that are making their way even closer to Earth facing. Not only that, but there's even more behind that we'll talk about in later videos. And we can't forget the fact that these sunspots grow over time, so these things may get even bigger as they approach Earth. Alright, so as we take this information in, we need to realize that we have just gone through a very high solar activity time period, and then shortly after we see large earthquakes popping up, and now we have to worry about that second wave of those 2 M-class solar flares. Even though they weren't as big, it doesn't matter. It's just adding to that pressure on the Earth's magnetic field, and when that pressure becomes too much, boom, we see earthquakes, we see volcanoes. I think we're in the highest volcanic activity rate as far as active volcanoes that we've seen in years, if not ever. That is also for another video, but we are still very much under an earthquake watch. Again, all these earthquakes you see here, and even in the Middle East, these areas over in this direction, Europe, Northern Africa, areas we don't talk too much about, are having a lot of activity, and I do believe it is due to the activity on our sun. Alright, my friends, and I was going to get into this, but this will be for another video, but just look at this mess in our country right now as far as weather goes. Winter storms, we got severe weather down in the southeast. We have red flag warnings covering 3/4 of Texas right now, which is absolutely crazy. Again, we spoke yesterday briefly about the weather and this first system that's going to be coming through, that's going to be giving the Great Lakes region a lot of interesting weather, and then followed by another big low pressure system that may be a big tornado producer along the southeast. We'll get into that later on today or tomorrow, but for now, my friends, that's where we're going to end this one. I hope you're all having a good start to your day. Special shout out to Canada today. I am very, very sorry I have not been posting as much lately, but don't worry, you'll start seeing the daily videos once again, if not at least 5 days a week. So stick around. We got a lot to talk about, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all, and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.